Hey boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of Crush Lusher Television. Alright, we are going to go over our quiz, and you're going to do corrections on anything you got wrong for an extra quiz grade. Here we go. So we got A, B, C, and D. I got a bunch of texts where people are confused about this. So here are the answers. Here you go. So let me get to my paper right here. So I write down all the parts right there, and it gives you f of x. So f of x equals 3x squared minus 2x, and you need to find f prime of x, which is the derivative, which means you can find the slope at any point on this parabola that you want. So in order to do that, I'm going to write it down here. So A, the f prime of x equals the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x over h right there, which essentially means you're just bringing those 2 points together wherever you want on the x. So we're finding the slope at 1 point. So this is, I'm going to plug in x plus h into this thing right here. So equals 3x plus h squared minus 2x plus h, bam, bracket that thing, minus, and then just f of x, same thing, 3x squared minus 2x. Copy that down because that's what f of x is over h. Cool. Alright, so x plus h squared, you box it up, and you get 3x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. I remember this from the other video, from the other lesson, so I can just memorize that, so I bam, put it like that. So now I distribute the negative 2, negative 2x minus 2h. Now I distribute this negative also. So, So I multiply everything by negative 1, so it's minus 3x squared plus 2x all over h. There we go. Okay. Distribute this 3. 3x squared plus 2xh. Sorry. I said distribute. I wasn't even distributing. My bad. 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared. Just copy the rest. Minus 2x minus 2h minus 3x squared plus 2x all over h. And here, forget this is the limit as h approaches 0. Right there. Alright, what do I see? Start simplifying this numerator. 3x squared and negative 3x squared is 0. Negative 2x and positive 2x is 0. Bam. So it looks like I got a bunch of terms. I got this, this, and this remaining. So generally put the h squared first. So it's 3h squared plus 6xh minus 2h over h. And this is the limit as h approaches 0. Alright, cool. So now I'm going to factor out an h. So it's h times 3h plus 6x minus 2 over h. H divided by h is 1, and then you plug in 0 here for h, and 0 plus this is just this, so it's 6x minus 2. So f prime of x is 6x minus 2. Bam. So this is part A, that's the derivative, is 6x minus 2. There is all the work. Pause and go back over the video if you need to write it all down and fix your work. Alright, so part B, I want the tangent line. So in a tangent line, what you need is you need the point, and you need the slope. So I need the point, so when x is 3, what the hell is the y? Well, I'm just going to plug it in here. This is going to give me the y. And then I need the slope at that point, so I do f prime of 3. I just plug in 3 into my derivative, which I got before on part A, is 6x minus 2. So this is going to be 6 times 3 minus 2, and that's going to give me the slope at x equals 3, which is 18 minus 2, which is 16. So the slope is 16, so that's up 16 over 1. It's a pretty steep slope. What's this y value? 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Minus 2 times 3, which is 6, which is, boom, 21. So here's my x, here's my y, here's my slope. I'm locked and loaded. Y minus 21 equals 16x minus 3. Bam. There's my tangent line. Got it. Okay, last but not least, I need to find f of e. So that means I need to plug in e for the x. So it's y minus 21 equals 16 e minus 3. Now, e is approximately 2.718. It's like pi, where it just keeps going forever. It's an irrational number. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm just going to add 21 on this side, like this. So y is 16e minus 3 plus 21. So if the tangent line equals this, that means the curve approximates that. So f of e is approximately whatever the hell this is when you plug it in the calculator. But you don't have to plug in the calculator. You can just leave it like that and you're good. There we go. Alright, so that's part B. So you need to have this. This is your tangent line. You need to have this approximation for part B. Alright, part C. We have g of x and it equals negative x plus 1/4. And you need to find out where f of x is perpendicular to g of x. Okay, so perpendicular means opposite reciprocal slope. So what's the slope of this? Yeah, I could go through this whole thing right here, but this is just a line, isn't it? Because there's no x squared or anything, it's not a parabola. So this is just a line, and the slope is negative 1. This is y equals mx plus b. So that's the slope of the entire thing. Because if I were to graph this, at 1/4 is the y-intercept, and the slope is negative 1, like that. So the slope is always negative 1. The slope is not changing like a parabola. And so g prime of x equals negative 1. Cool. I also would have got that if I did this whole thing right here. I would have got negative 1 also. So if you did that, you still got it right. That's good. So now, what's perpendicular to negative 1? That's the opposite reciprocal. So that would be 1/1, but not negative, but positive. So when does this slope equal the opposite reciprocal of this slope? So that's when 6x minus 2, which is the slope of this, right? Slope of f of x, equal the perpendicular slope to this, which is 1. Because the regular slope is negative 1. So now I'm just solving this. And x equals 3/6, which is 1/2. There we go. So at 1/2, x equals 1/2. The slope of the parabola is negative 1. And the slope of the line is also negative 1 at x equals 1/2. That's what you just found out. Cool. Alright, last but not least, here you go. So h of x equals this. So I'm running out of room, I'm going to write it over here. So h of x equals f of x when x is greater than or equal to negative 1/6. And g of x when x is less than or equal to negative 1/6. So what you have to do is you have to figure out whether it is continuous. So the first thing you do to figure out whether it's continuous, you figure out where the limit is the same from both sides, where they're approaching the same y value. So the limit as x approaches negative 1/6 from the left of h of x, does that equal the limit as x approaches negative 1/6 from the right of h of x. So you have to have the same notation. So if you don't have this notation, make sure you write it down with me as we do it. Alright? So from the left, if I was to draw this thing, this is negative 1/6, and from the left you have g of x, and the right is f of x. Is that right? Is that right? Or did I mess that up? Let me look at the page again. X is less. Okay, so f of x is when x is less than that. I messed it up, my bad. I'm going to go back. So this is less. This is greater than or equal to. So this is actually f of x. This is less. So f of x. This is g of x. Bam. Cool. Alright, so limit as x approaches negative 1/6 from the left. From the left, that would be here. From the left, as you're approaching from the left, so that's on f of x. So that would mean the limit as x approaches negative 1/6 from the left of h of x equals, so I'm plugging in negative 1/6 into f of x, which is 3 times negative 1/6 squared minus 2 times negative 1/6. Damn, okay. So negative 1/6 squared, so this is 3, negative 1 squared is 1, and then 6 squared is 36. Minus, so this is negative 2 times negative 1, which is 2. 1 times 6, which is 6. Okay, so this is 3 over 36 minus 2 over 6. Let's simplify. This is going to be divided by 3. This is 1/12. Now, I need to have this be 12ths also, so I'm going to multiply this by 2 over 2. So that's going to be minus 4/12. So now I have the same denominator. I'm good to go. 1 minus 4, which is negative 3/12. Divide that by 3, and you have negative 1/4. Damn, a lot of fraction stuff. That's why you got to be good. So the limit as x approaches negative 1/6 from the left is negative 1/4. Now I need the limit as x approaches negative 1/6 from the right of h of x. And that's when I plug into g of x here. Plug into g of x from the right. So that's going to be negative 1/6. It's like negative x plus 1/4. Like that. Let me double check to make sure that's what it is. Yep, negative x plus 1/4 is g of x. So I'm plugging in, I'm good. Okay, so this is negative times negative is positive. 1/6 plus 1/4. So this is going to be, common denominator is 12. So multiply this by 2 over 2. So it's 2/12 plus times 3 over 3. Because 4 times 3 is 12. 3/12. So that's 5/12. That's not good because this is a positive, this is a negative. So if you're going from the left and the right, you're going to different y values, so there's a jump in the graph. So no, h of x, is your concluding statement, you gotta have this, is not continuous at x equals negative 1/6 because the limit as x approaches negative 1/6 of h of x does not equal the limit as x approaches, sorry, from the left, and from the right of h of x doesn't equal. Well, thank you very much. There we go. Good work. Make sure you finish this and then upload your notes for an extra quiz grade. Good work, everybody. Take care.